When you think of street food, you probably picture busy streets, simple meals, and people eating on the go. But what most people don't realize is that behind this simple idea, there are systems and innovations that shaped how the world eats today, and a lot of it started in China. From the way food is cooked, to how markets are organized, to how people buy and eat on the street, many of the things you see in modern street food culture actually have ancient roots. So today, we're going to look at 11 Chinese street food and market innovations that are still shaping everyday life, without most people even noticing. It all starts with one of the most important cooking tools ever created for fast food, the wok. At first glance, it looks simple, but its design makes it incredibly powerful. It heats up quickly, cooks food at extremely high temperatures, and allows techniques like stir-frying, deep-frying, steaming, and boiling all in the same tool. That flexibility is exactly why street food developed the way it did. In crowded cities where time and space are limited, cooking needs to be fast, efficient, and consistent. The wok makes that possible, turning simple ingredients into hot meals in seconds. And that constant sizzling sound you hear in street food videos? That's the sound of speed and efficiency working perfectly. But cooking fast is only one part of the system. The other part is mobility. In ancient Chinese markets, vendors rarely had fixed shops. They needed to adapt constantly to crowds, weather, and location. That led to incredibly practical street stall designs: foldable tables, portable cooking stations, lightweight storage boxes, and setups that could be assembled or dismantled in minutes. Everything was designed for movement. This wasn't just convenience. It was survival in a dense, competitive marketplace. And in many ways, this is the ancestor of modern food trucks and pop-up stalls around the world. Now let's talk about something even more fundamental: how people eat. Chopsticks might seem like a small detail, but they completely change the rhythm of food consumption. Instead of heavy cutlery, long preparation at the table, or slow formal meals, chopsticks allowed people to eat quickly, directly from bowls, often while standing or walking through markets. This created a natural fast dining culture long before the concept of fast food even existed. Cooking is fast, serving is fast, eating is fast. Everything moves in sync. Markets themselves also evolved into highly efficient social systems. One of the most interesting examples is communal dining tables. Instead of separating customers into individual spaces, many street markets used long shared tables where strangers would sit together. This reduced space requirements, increased customer turnover, and created a constant flow of activity. But it also created something more important: atmosphere. Noise, movement, interaction, and energy all blended into a single experience. In modern terms, this is basically the blueprint of today's night markets and food halls. Even the idea of quick, ready-to-eat food has ancient roots. Long before industrial instant noodles, Chinese markets already offered pre-cooked or partially prepared noodle dishes designed for speed. These meals could be finished in seconds, reheated quickly, or assembled on demand. The goal was simple: reduce waiting time as much as possible. This concept later evolved into one of the biggest global food industries, but its logic was already present thousands of years ago in crowded street markets. Another key innovation that made all of this possible was food preservation. Without refrigeration, vendors relied heavily on fermentation, drying, and pickling. These techniques allowed food to last longer, travel further, and remain safe in different climates. But they also did something even more important: they created completely new flavor profiles. The deep, sour, salty, and umami-rich tastes that define many Chinese dishes today come directly from these preservation methods. What started as necessity became culinary identity. One of the most visually iconic street food innovations is bamboo steaming. Using stackable bamboo baskets, vendors could cook multiple layers of food at once using only steam and heat. This system is incredibly efficient: low cost, low energy, high output. Dumplings, buns, vegetables, everything cooks evenly while preserving moisture and flavor. Even today, This exact method is used in restaurants and street stalls all over the world because it simply works better than many modern alternatives. Skewers are another deceptively simple innovation. By putting food on sticks, vendors solved multiple problems at once. Cooking becomes faster, serving becomes easier, eating becomes portable, and cleanup becomes minimal. Customers don't need plates or tables. They can just grab food and keep moving through the market. This creates flow, and flow is everything in street food culture. Lighting and time also changed everything. Night markets transformed food from something purely functional into something experiential. With lanterns and later electric lighting, entire streets became glowing environments filled with sound, movement, and food everywhere. This extended working hours, increased economic activity, and turned eating into entertainment. People didn't just come to eat. They came to experience the atmosphere. Portion design is another underrated but powerful innovation. Instead of large meals, street food evolved toward small, affordable servings. This allowed people to try multiple dishes in one visit, increased vendor sales, and encouraged variety instead of repetition. In modern terms, this is the foundation of food tasting culture and sharing plates, but it originated from practical street economics. It also changed how people experience food entirely. Instead of committing to one dish, customers could explore, compare, and mix flavors in a single walk through a market. That simple shift turned eating from a necessity into a kind of discovery, where every stall became a new opportunity rather than a final choice. And finally, none of this could scale without efficient trade systems. Early Chinese markets developed standardized coin systems and later paper money, which drastically reduced transaction time. When thousands of small vendors operate in tight spaces, speed matters. Faster payments mean faster turnover, more customers served, and a more dynamic market environment. In a way, financial innovation and food innovation evolved together. Even the layout of markets, the movement of crowds, and the rhythm of buying and selling were shaped by how quickly money could change hands. Without that speed, the entire street food ecosystem would have been much smaller, slower, and far less vibrant. When you put all of this together, the picture becomes extremely clear. Street food is not just a modern urban trend. It is the result of centuries of layered innovation. In cooking, mobility, eating behavior, preservation, market design, and even money itself. Many of the things that define global street food culture today were already present in ancient Chinese markets long before the modern world existed. It is a system built on efficiency and repetition, refined over generations until it became something almost invisible in its simplicity, yet incredibly complex in its origins. Every detail, from how food is cut and cooked to how it is sold and eaten, reflects a long chain of small improvements made by countless people trying to make life a little faster, cheaper, and more accessible. So the next time you walk through a busy street market, hear a wok sizzling, or grab something quick to eat on the go, remember this: you are not just seeing food. You are seeing thousands of years of innovation still alive, still evolving, and still shaping how the world eats every single day. It's a reminder that even in the most modern cities, the oldest human habits are still very much present, just wrapped in new forms, brighter lights, and faster service. And maybe that's why street food never disappears, no matter how modern cities become. Because it doesn't belong to one era or one country. It belongs to a pattern of human behavior that has existed for thousands of years. The need to eat well, quickly, and together, even in the busiest moments of life. And as long as people keep walking through streets, working long days, and looking for something warm, fast, and satisfying to eat, street food will continue to evolve, while still staying exactly the same at its core. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Every week we explore stories like this: hidden histories, forgotten innovations, and the surprising origins of everyday things you use without even thinking about it. It really helps the channel grow and allows us to keep making more videos like this, and it also lets you stay updated whenever we upload something new. And now I want to hear from you. Which of these street food innovations surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. I read them all, and I always check what you're saying so I can improve future videos too.